Hi guys, happy Saturday. So just the lighting looks a bit weird, but hopefully it doesn't make me look too scary. I'll try this way. Um, okay, so today I hope you're doing well and enjoying a little bit of sunshine. Um, Today I'd like to talk about procrastination. I'm master at that, and also being productive, which is the right opposite of it, and it's something that I have recently finally achieved. And I know that procrastination and the lack of productivity is an issue for lots of people, that we get stuck in habits that are not helpful and that are wasting our time. And it has been a massive issue for me for a long time. And it feels like I finally cracked it. Obviously, fingers crossed, I'm only human. It's been a couple months and it's still going strong, so let's hope it's permanent, but only time will tell. But I spoke about this with a few people, and they were like, oh, this is really good. I just needed a reminder. So I decided to give you the benefit of the reminder too. So, procrastination, what it is, what are the symptoms, and what does it actually mean? Well, how I view it, to procrastinate means to either think about something for way too long, beyond what's actually necessary, or to use delay tactics to kind of put on hold things that actually really need to be done. So for example, I don't know, you have an exam in 3 weeks time and you really need to study now, but instead you've cleaned the house and watched all, I don't know, Game of Thrones series, the whole thing, or whatever, read a book or study something else that actually you don't need right now, or spend much longer, I don't know, doing things like, let's say, on Facebook and, things like that actually are not bringing you forward towards what you actually want, which is to pass that exam. So that's how I view procrastination, and as I said, I've been absolute master at that. Not just when it came to exams, I always studied in the last minute, like until 4 a.m. and by some miracles I always did well at exams, but it really wasn't because I was studying a lot. And I suppose a bit of luck was involved, but that happened a lot with lots of other things, I have big dreams in my life. There are things that I really, really want to achieve, that are important to me, that I feel will benefit not just me, but, everyone else around me. The world in general, I really honestly want to make the world a better place. And obviously the big dream of mine is having that retreat. And that has then smaller goals underneath it, like finishing my book, like making my business successful, having successful charity events under my belt, creating a online program and things like that, like things that I believe will take me further towards my main goal. Now you think, well, all you need to do is just do it, right? Take the necessary steps to get to your small goals and then to your bigger goal. Yes, and I have been doing that, but it's taken me much longer than actually is, necessary. Like I could have done so much more already. But what I've been doing, my place is pretty clean, but it's also, watching YouTube videos, spending lots of time scrolling on Facebook, watching documentaries and stuff that, they educative and, I benefit from them somehow, but they're not really bringing me closer to what I want or what I'm saying I want. And other ways how I waste my time chatting with people about nonsense, listening to music, reading books that again are not bringing me forward to to my goals and stuff. So, but I think Facebook is probably the biggest time killer and time waster that has been in my life. We all have different things, and we all need to identify our own time wasters. But what has really, I always knew it's not good to procrastinate. I always knew that if I want to achieve my goals, I have to do something about it and I have to take action. But for some reason, instead, I just kept procrastinating and kept doing things that weren't helpful, and then feeling bad about it, feeling guilty about it. That, of course, wasn't helpful either, because it made me feel bad. And then it would bring me down. And it's just, and then when you feel down, you don't feel like doing anything. And it's like just perpetual cycle just keeps going around and around and around, and you're not really going anywhere fast. So what happened was few things came together, I think. I think with all this work I've been doing on myself, I've been kind of really getting to a point where I was able to be much clearer and be much more aware of what I'm doing. I also had by pure luck, I got a really, really good coach. Was really helpful, and she helps me to stay focused. And then there was that week retreat, that when I did a silent retreat. And I had a phone call with my coach just before the retreat. And the last thing she said to me was, before our next session, I want you to consider your priorities. And in my head, I was like, well, I know what my priorities are. It's not a big deal. But she said, just think about it. So, okay, that's interesting. So I did. I also, at the end, finished reading the book that I started months and months ago. I think about January or February. I was given this book at one of my networking meetings after we were given a talk by the author. Fantastic lady. The talk was really helpful. It was about money and management of money. And the book is called 4 Money Mindsets. And it basically lays out the structure of how people think about money and their behaviors with money, and why some people can never seem to, make enough, while some get rich really easily, even after they lost everything. And she kind of, I just touched on it very briefly because it will make sense in a minute why. So the first money mindset is you earn less than you spend. So no matter how much money you earn, you always spend more, and you always borrowing, and you're always in debt. And even when, let's say, you win a lottery, you pay off the debt, in no time, again, you find yourself in the same space of, again, owing money and not having anything much. And it seems to keep going on and on and on. The second mindset is you earn as much as you spend. So no matter, again, how much you earn, whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, you always spend it all. There's never ever anything left at the end of the month, no savings, there is no debt. You always kind of, take responsibility and you pay the bills first, but then you spend the rest. And again, it doesn't matter how much you earn, it always gets spent, and you don't think to move anywhere further. Now, then there is the comfort zone people who always put aside first money to be saved, pay off all their bills, and they're more careful with their money, but they're also a bit fearful, so they don't really invest into anything. They have good savings and they have a good cushion and they're comfortable, but they also rather go a little bit without, but save the money, but they're also afraid to invest them and to create better future and propel this further. The kind of first two mindsets have a lot to do with instant kind of gratification, when I want it now and I don't really think about the consequences. While the next one is more about, I think about the future, but the future only. And it's kind of out of fear of I need the money just in case something goes wrong. So I rather not enjoy the present. healthier perhaps than spending everything that you've got, or spending more than you actually got, but it's somehow limited. And then you have the rich money mindset of when you have your cushion of 6 months. So if you suddenly lost job, you have 6 months to cover all your expenses. You pay all your bills, all that is taken care of first, but whatever is left over is invested. Is invested into education, is invested into investment programs and whatever, like into business, into something that is likely to bring something more in the future. So they kind of find a balance of living well in the present and still enjoying it, but also being able to invest to bring more in the future. And then, of course, the more you have, the more you can share with the rest of the world. So you can be charitable, you can help your family, you can help your friends, you name it, whatever are your priorities. So these are the 4 money mindsets, and she kind of then speaks about how to transfer from one to another, what the signs are, and all that kind of stuff. And I find it all interesting, but I missed out on the last chapter, and I only finished it during that silent retreat. And the last chapter was about time and time management, and she mentioned how time and money is very much linked. It's just a different form of energy, and that often how we manage our money is reflected in how we manage our time, and vice versa. And really kind of hit home. It's not something I never heard of before. But having she kind of puts this kind of table there, really clearly stating what are the signs of the different kind of money mindsets and time mindsets, and it was very interesting and really hit me how much time I was wasting. And she kind of she created 4 categories, and that's things that you spend time on that are essential. So basically to get you what you need right now. Things that are for pleasure only, like family, kind of spending time on activities that just bring you pure joy, and time wasters. So things that you do that you might mildly enjoy, but they don't really bring you anything in particular. They don't bring you any further towards your dreams or goals. They just literally just waste your time. They just help you to pass the time, don't bring you particular joy or pleasure. They're easily replaceable. And then those that are time that's invested, so time that gives you something back, that whether it's doing courses, studying, so you can achieve something more in the future, or whether it's work that brings you closer to your dreams, maybe networking meeting, whatever it is, when you identify the steps that you need to take towards whatever your goal is, however minor or big, it doesn't matter. Whatever your goals are, once you identify the steps that you need to take to get there, you then need to spend time and sometimes money to make these things happen. That's investment. That's investment into your goal, and that's worth of your time and money. Everything else, not so much. If you're saying that more than anything else, you want this thing, whatever that might be in your life. So in my life, it's that retreat. So I'm saying more than anything, I want to achieve this. I want to run that retreat. So everything I do in my day should somehow lead towards that. So I really realized how much I needed to restructure my day. And so first I identified my goals. So it was this retreat. It was also my health. That's really important to me. And my current business. So to kind of make it more successful. So even more than it is already. So these 3 things are really important to me. So I decided to basically dedicate all the time I can to these 3 goals. Then I had secondary goals, which is achieving some qualifications with horses, as well as learning Spanish, and some other bits and pieces. So I have these smaller goals as well. So first of all, when I decided about what I'm going to do in my day, I allocate the time first to these three things. So I allocate time for my health. So in the mornings, there's time for me to do Qigong and yoga and meditation. I take time to do shopping so I can eat healthily. So all this stuff, that's, amongst the number one priorities. The second, of course, is my business. So I allocate time for my clients, for my admin work, my tax returns, all that kind of stuff. That's got a huge priority. Then the third thing is the retreat. So whether it's networking, whether it's food education, whether it's talking to certain people I need to talk to further me down doing research, all that kind of stuff. That's another priority. And then so I allocate the time to that, and then whatever time is left, I then spread between the secondary ones, like finishing the book, learning Spanish. So I take like half an hour a day to learn Spanish. Then the horses as well, so preparing for them, again, research, talking to the right people, studying, all that. So I take time for that. And then whatever time is left, and sometimes there is none, sometimes literally that's how my day was filled. But sometimes there is an hour or a couple hours left. So that's for everything else. That's for my dancing, that's for reading books, that's for watching some documentaries or whatever. And actually only after that, it's Facebook. So I spend barely any time on Facebook nowadays because I just don't have time for it. Because I've changed my priorities before that silent retreat. I probably spent good, and I was terrified when I seen it, but I spent probably good 3-4 hours. Hello, Saeed. I spent a good 3-4 hours watching Facebook or looking through Facebook and stuff. So all that time I have now used productively and actually dedicated to achieving my goals, and therefore there's very little time left for Facebook. So maybe that's why I'm not as present as I used to be. But it means that I'm actually achieving my goals, and this is possible for absolutely everyone. It's literally just, first thing, identify your goals. What is it you actually really, really want? And don't worry about what other people want or what you think you should be wanting or what your spouse or partner or your mom or your dad want for you. This is about you. What's important for you? So whether it is want to learn how to do something, whether it's changing your job, whether it's moving some different country, learning a new language, or buying some new nice clothes or a handbag, whatever is important to you, starting exercising, health, whatever it is that you want to achieve. For some people it can be a big thing, like, as well, getting pregnant and getting married and completely starting a new career, whatever your goal is, write down what it is. And there might be several, because it might be health and changing career, and sometimes these are interlinked. So identify what your goal is, identify the steps you need to take to achieve that goal, and really break it down to as small steps as you can, because that will help you to make it a little bit more achievable. And then decide how you're going to structure your day. So let's say if you have 9-to-5 job, so obviously you still need to do your work, but how do you spend the time on your way there? So for example, I do lots of stuff while on my way to work, on my way from work. Whenever I travel somewhere, I'm always working. Whenever I'm waiting somewhere, I'm working. I'm getting my stuff done. So let's say meeting a friend for lunch or whatever, she's running 10 minutes late. All right, that's 10 minutes to do my Spanish, yeah? Or 10 minutes to answer some emails or whatever. Of course, I'm not always on my phone. As I said, some of my goals are health, so I ensure that I have 2 hours in the morning, an hour in the evening before I go to bed. No matter what's happening in my day, I schedule my day accordingly. But I always have that time with my phone switched off, when I just focus on myself, on my yoga, on my qigong, on my meditation. That's my time in my day. That's my rest, apart from sleep. And that makes, that ensures that I'm not constantly on my phone, constantly working and driving myself crazy. But there's also this amazing feeling of satisfaction when you've gone through your whole day and you've ticked so much stuff off your to-do list, and you got your little things done that, before, when I was waiting for that friend, I would be 10 minutes on Facebook. Nothing would have been done. Now it's like, okay, I've emailed the 2 people I wanted to email. Or, I've taken those 10 minutes of that half an hour that I need to spend on Spanish. And, I can kind of fit it in little slots, so it doesn't have to be all in one go. So things always get done. And I just managed to fit into my day so much. Like, people often ask me, like, how do you do this? How do you do all these things? All this work, because you do long hours. How, with all your hobbies, and then still manage all these other stuff, all the charity events and writing books and all that. Well, it's because of this. And actually, I've managed quite a lot, even with my procrastination. And looking back, I actually really appreciate how well I've been doing. But now it's even better. And there is this kind of lightness, because there is not heavy to-do list sitting on my shoulders. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do this. No, because it gets done like this. I schedule things. So if I know I can't do it today, I schedule it in my reminders to a day that I know I will be able to do in. So then I don't have to think about it. I know that I will get a reminder on a day to do it. It's out of my mind. I sleep so much better. And there's just also this amazing feeling of peacefulness, because I feel like I'm getting things done. I'm on my way to what I want to achieve. There is feeling of satisfaction, of achievement, of gratitude. Like every evening I kind of go through my day and it's like, oh my God, this day's just been, and even if things don't go that well, or I had some emotional dramas or whatever, it still feels like, oh my God, I've done so much. Even if the day wasn't as good as I would like it to be, I still managed to do all these things, and they seem to be even more valuable because I wasn't feeling my best. So I'll wrap it up here, because there's really not much else to say. It's really, really simple. And it's not even about feeling motivated or feeling like doing things. It's just getting your priorities right. Don't set up goals that don't actually matter to you. Don't set up goals that matter to other people, and you just want to please them. Because you never get motivated for that, and you always feel like you're kind of dragging yourself to do things. This is about deciding what you want from your heart. Like, I know it sounds cheesy, but this is exactly what it is. About like your whole being is, yearning to do this thing, to be this thing, whatever that might be. However crazy it might seem. Maybe you want to be an astronaut. Actually, nowadays it's possible for many more people than it used to be in the past. You want to be an astronaut? Find out how to get there. Find out what you need to do, and then start working towards the goal. So maybe it'll be physical, mental, education. Okay, I need to go to the uni to do this. I need to do this kind of exercise to be able to pass the fitness test. I need to sort out whatever, And you can start taking steps to do it. And because you're motivated by that passion, by the joy of what you're about to, what the journey you're embarking on and what you want to achieve, motivation is not an issue. The energy to do it, the kind of like, okay, I'm going to do it now, that can be a little bit more tricky sometimes, because we get into habits of hesitating. And there's actually fantastic YouTube talk, I think it was a TED talk maybe as well, and there's a book out called 5-Second Rule, and it's simply put, whenever you feel like you're hesitating, like when you're about to hit a snooze button, your alarm clock goes off and you're like, I know I need to get up, but and so you hit the snooze button and you waste another half an hour lying in bed, not really sleeping, not really resting. once you're awake, that the extra half an hour really doesn't bring you anything. What you can do instead is count yourself down. So you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you get up. And actually this counting down gets your mind to really focus and to want to spring into action. And it's been actually tried in some studies, and it just seems to work. And I have now, since seeing that talk, I've tried it a few times, and it works. Because sometimes I still wake up and I feel like, do I want to get up? And then I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm sitting up, I'm standing up, and I'm up. So, whenever you have your things that you want to do set up, and you, for example, you're waiting for that friend, you turn up at a station and you're waiting for your friend, and you have 10 minutes because he texted you, so you have 10 minutes ahead of yourself, and then your thumb is hovering above the Facebook, and there's a hesitation because there's like, okay, I can answer these 3 emails, or I can go on Facebook. Hesitation. And in your heart that the 3 emails is much better answer. Just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press that email and just get on with it, and you'll feel so much better. And God knows there might be still even time left for you to check that Facebook if you really, really want to, but you'll have that sense of achievement, of satisfaction, of, oh my God, I managed, and I've done so much with my day, and I've been so productive. And it will get you further towards your dream. And then you look back and one day you're like, oh my God, I've achieved this. And much faster than I expected. It's because you actually dedicated your time to it. You can dream as much as you like, and you can do positive affirmation and positive thinking and write everything down and do all these woo things. But unless you actually show the universe or whatever, your God or whatever you believe in, unless you actually take action, unless you show that this is what I want, so this is why I'm doing these things, it's not going to happen. Nothing just comes to you and hits you on the head. You got to go and get it. So you've got to dedicate your time, your mind power, and your passion to whatever you actually want. And once you start doing that, things will start happening to you. It's like you start getting delivered so much more help, and you start meeting people who are really helpful that you could not even expect it, and investment that come out of nowhere. I even found like money on the street and stuff, things just start happening for you. Everything just become a bit lighter, and it doesn't mean that your life suddenly without challenges, or that nothing's difficult and everything's just really easy breezy. No, not like that. It's a bit easier, it's a bit more peaceful, it's a bit more joyful. It's just, there's this kind of sense of relief. The heaviness is gone. When the challenges come, there might be still a bit of fear, but then you're like, oh, I can do this. This is important for me, and I can do this. And actually, I think I'm going to do another video next week on motivation and passion, because that's a whole new subject, and I do have to work at some point. So, procrastination to productivity, few simple steps. Just basically get your shit together. You can do this. I've done it. And I was a master procrastinator. So if I can do it, you can do it. If you want some extra help, you feel that no matter how hard you try, you keep tripping over, well, NLP hypnotherapy can really help. So feel free to contact me, and I'll be really happy to discuss with you, how can I help you, and what kind of support I can offer for you to change your habits for good. So this is me, Kristina Mendez-Matjeva from KMM Sanity Therapies. I'm based at Highgate Holistic Clinic. I'm NLP and hypnotherapy practitioner as well as a massage therapist. I teach massage courses. I have a membership scheme that offers great help around health and well-being, whether it's from the perspective of NLP hypnotherapy or aromatherapy and massage, nutrition, all that stuff. And I also do lots of charity work and writing a book and just trying to make this world a better place. So let's do this together, and let's get in touch and have conversation of how can we improve how you live in your life to make it just a bit more joyful. All right, take care, have a lovely weekend, and I shall see you next week. Bye bye.